Welcome back to Relatable Wisdom, the podcast where everyday people share the quotes that have shaped their lives, inviting us all to reflect and grow together. Today we're joined by Denise Clanin, a passionate author of heartfelt romantic mysteries. After navigating the profound loss of her brother, Denise turned to storytelling as a source of healing and hope. Her unique blend of romance and mystery not only captivates readers but also inspires them to find purpose in their own journeys. Let's dive into Denise's world and discover the quotes that has touched their heart.
Tell me your name and your favorite quote.
So my name is Denise Clanin, and my quote that I've that's inspired me lately has been "Everything happens for a reason."
Everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
Why do you think this quote resonates with you?
Oh.
Why do you think this quote resonates with you?
So for me, I've actually seen this quote play out in my life over the past 5 years. My husband and I, we were living in San Diego, California, which is a very different place from where we are now in the U.S. Because we moved to the North Idaho area about 4 years ago, and so earlier when we were back in San Diego, we were just in a 1-bedroom apartment. And we're not sure about the next steps about buying a house or starting a family. And then after, I guess it was during the COVID times, we were just in a small little apartment and we were not sure, what was going to happen after that. And then about a year later, that was when we first visited Idaho and fell in love with the area. And we actually found a house that was to our liking. And a few months later, we ended up moving up to the North Idaho Coeur d'Alene area. And a year after that, we welcomed our baby, our firstborn, our son, into our family. And after that, just so much, I guess, so much has changed. But all of this has been a very positive change, beginning with our move to Idaho, and then having our son, and then having 2 years later, having our baby girl welcoming our baby girl into our family, and then the writing as well. That I've now officially published my first book. All happened within 5 years.
You mentioned you published the book. What's the name of the book and what's it about?
So the book is called Among the Stars. It's a mystery romance novel, and it's available on ebook and paperback.
Yeah, that's the strange thing about fiction book. You have to be careful when you talk about the book so you don't give spoiler for the book. I don't know if it makes sense. Can you hear me fine? Or do I need to maybe speak out? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. It's a little fuzzy on your side, I think.
Yeah, the story you shared, so that everything happened for a reason. It's the kind of quote that it's hard, especially when it something sad, something and you the person is it's at that moment looking at the situation, and it's really hard to embrace the quote and say everything happened for a reason.
Yeah. It was definitely a quote, that I saw in my personal life, and I actually applied it to my book as well, with the main character, Natalie, and her journey of self-discovery, that she also learns that all of her, events, they all happen for a reason.
Yeah. Okay. Everything happened for you. How long have you had this quote in kind of like your mantra somehow?
Yeah. And I think it just definitely does show that we are essentially works in progress till our last breath. And so we can kind of look back and see how far we've grown from just a few years ago. I think each of us kind of learned a lesson that we wouldn't have otherwise learned, or we wouldn't know earlier. And so we can definitely appreciate just why we went through, the events that we did, even if they were challenging. But I think that kind of that realization of our growth and that we are works in progress every day is pretty, I think it's inspiring.
When I look at the quote, what comes to mind is that when you look back, you would be able to connect the dots. But at the point in time when that thing happened, it's quite hard to really understand what's going on.
Yeah, I know. For my personal life, I did lose my older brother, to a medical. I'm sorry.
I'm so sorry to hear that.
Oh, it's he passed away from a chronic medical condition, and it was something he was diagnosed with when he was 11 years old, and he went through his, I think, early adolescence, to child, or I guess, yeah, or I guess adolescence to early adulthood. And that was when the condition really worsened, and it did remove his ability to hear and see well and even speak. And so over time, he did end up losing those abilities and had passed away at 29 years old. And so it was very challenging to go through that and seeing him suffer. And so even though it was um, very hard for me and my parents, going through that with my brother. I am thankful for just the people he brought into our lives. He was a very positive person and just had a contagious sense of humor and very much drew people to him, and had a huge community of just supportive family and friends, even during his or and up until his last days. And so just seeing that has been a blessing. And so I've been able to kind of witness how much just a positive impact he's had on other people's lives. And so even though I don't understand why he went through the suffering he did, I do know that there was a reason behind it. And sometimes I won't see it in my lifetime, but I know I just trust um, that there is growth to be had, and that there is that throughout this, that we can see the blessings, but sometimes it takes time. Or yes, yeah, every day we learn. You can learn a little bit more about why something in the past happened.
At that point in time, do you feel that um, the quote could be misinterpreted? Do you feel that the quote, everything happened for a reason, so it's not just a misinterpretation?
Um, so I think that everything happens for a reason. It can uh, pretty much transcend to any person, any circumstance, even the challenging, yeah, I guess the challenging times, even though we don't understand why they happened. I think just remembering that we can't see the full picture, that we only see little snapshots of day-to-day activity, or yes, day-to-day events. And so it's not until we can look back on what we've gone through and see that maybe even like something like losing a sibling, that there is something good that can come out of it, even though the event itself is tragic. And I definitely miss my brother, and I wish he were here with us. But I am glad that he had brought us to brought people together in community and was just a very positive impact, or had a positive impact on people.
Thank you. Everything happened for a reason. Everything happened for a reason. You you did share a couple of stories, and I'm glad you did that to help us understand and make sense of the quote. Thanks for doing that.
I said, thank you for sharing those stories.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, so I was asking you if you've heard of the story called Oliver Twist by Charles Dickens.
Oh, Oliver Twist. Yes, I've heard of the book. I've actually never read the book. I think I watched the movie though.
Okay, so in the story, Oliver asked for more. And so the reason I brought it up is because I wanted to ask for more, more stories from you where after a while, occurrence or the situation or whatever happened, you began to see, oh, this, yeah, it happened for a reason, but at the point in time, it didn't make any sense.
Oh, so some more examples of when I've seen everything happening for a reason in my life.
Exactly, Denise.
Okay. Yeah, so I know definitely with my husband, for instance, with us actually getting married, I know that that was definitely a long journey for both of us before we met each other. We were I guess dating was challenging. We didn't really find it was hard to find people with I guess similar values and goals. And so we were both pretty much single until we met each other. That was right after college, and then after that, then we got married, and then well, eventually moved away from San Diego. But I wouldn't have imagined that like 10 years ago. I wasn't even sure when I was going to get married and what that was going to look like, or when we would start a family. But I'm very thankful that I met my husband when I did, not when I was in college or earlier, because I definitely needed to kind of go through life and like figuring out like my major and my first job. Definitely, I think those were like, steps that were important to make before we met each other.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Thank you so much for sharing that story. Um, you mentioned you wrote a book, right? What's the What's the title again?
So the name is Among the Stars.
Okay. So when did you publish the book?
Oh, so I published the book actually just a few months ago. I started writing it about a year and a half ago. Just for fun. I had always had this idea in the back of my mind, but I'd never actually sat down to write it. It was actually came from a creative writing class that I took in college where I wrote like a one or two chapters, but it was a very different story. But the current story, I guess, current version that I have now, I really didn't come up with that until about a year and a half ago. And then I just allowed myself the time to write. And then just over the course of, I guess, that year, I actually completed it, which is the first book I've actually completed from start to finish.
Yeah. Oh. Wow. Yeah. And how was the experience like when you were writing the book?
So I definitely think the experience you have to, first of all, I think just focus on yourself. I know it's kind of a interesting mindset, but don't think about how much money you're wanting to make out of the book or how many sequels you want to produce or all these other variables. Those can come later. I think the important thing is write the story that you want to see on the bookshelf. Um, so just focusing on those characters and the plot is, I think, very important in the beginning stages. And so that's kind of what gave me the inspiration to finish the story. It's just thinking about what I wanted to find when I walked into a bookstore and on the bookshelf.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Denise, for sharing your favorite quotes with me and for helping me make sense of it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. What's one key takeaway or advice you would love to leave with my listeners?
I think besides that everything happening for a reason, I think there's also it's important to remember that there is always hope to be found. That is a major theme in my book. Just showing that even in I guess, the most challenging of circumstances, there's always a silver lining or a blessing to be found. But sometimes we just have to be proactive in looking for that, looking for those blessings. And even in right now, I guess there's just been a skyrocket of cases of anxiety and depression. And it's been a very mentally taxing time. And I think it's just important to remember that there is always hope, even if your mind is trying to tell you that there isn't, that is false, that there's always hope.
Thank you for that. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Where can listeners learn more about you and your amazing book?
So the book Among the Stars is available on Amazon and also Barnes and Nobles and wherever books are sold in physical copy or an ebook format.
Okay. Do you where can if they wanted to connect with you or reach out to you, where can they do that?
So I have a Facebook account and Instagram account. I also have a LinkedIn account, and of course my publisher is Morgan Pierce Media and Publishing. I have I guess a profile page on their website as well.
Okay. 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 Can you say your name out loud again so that um they'll know what to search for when they're looking up for those listening.
Oh, so my name is Denise Clanin.
Thank you so much, Denise.
All right. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for listening to Relatable Wisdom. If you found something meaningful in this episode, make sure to follow or subscribe wherever you're listening. If you'd like to support the show, you can do that by buying me a coffee. The link is in the show notes. Every little bit keeps the conversations going. I'm your host, Wisdom Okonkwo, and I will see you in the next one. Until then, stay curious, stay inspired, and keep growing.